Oh. Hi, folks. I'm in the.
These things on my way. These are much more flavorful.
Aren't they lovely?
Yeah, a little burst of summer in the
A little something, something.
Yeah, take one for the road.
Take a couple, put them in your pocket.
Oh, one.
Ciao.
Hello.
Hey, guys.
How are you?
Very well. How are you folks?
Hanging in there.
Hanging in there. A lot of deep belly breaths. Deep. And
Yes. What's up?
Hey everyone, Tina.
how goes it, folks?
Good.
Hey,
Hey. All right.
always happy when I get promoted.
Literally and figuratively. Too funny. Awesome. All righty, folks. I think most of you guys, or many of you were in that training. What'd you think?
I want to be Jason. He's pretty
I feel like you could have
enthusiastic.
just stopped after the first thing and just said, just contact us before you do anything.
Well, that was the moral of the story when I finished it, because I thought, oh my Lord. I've already emailed him and I said, Jason, I know you're not the fella. we need to be emailing, but so may I please have those emails, because we're going to be using them a lot. And oh, wait a minute, let me just send this to Tim.
I thought it was very productive. It was very educational for this, but and for other things I'm involved in too. It's
Sure, and I know.
just be aware and use the resource.
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, folks. I'm just going to send this link to Tim Bonfatti. Did I send it to? Sorry, guys, just give me a sec. I'm not that fast. Copy. Post. right, sorry about that. So I just sent that to Tim Bonfatti so he can get in, and that'll be great. So yeah, just like Bob, I thought that was really informative. It was, as I said, overwhelming, but I'm grateful that it's a resource, and you know, he gave us other resources, the Ethics Commission, the AG's office. So I think that'll be good. They're great.
I think it was a little overboard on some of the things that we can and can't do.
You tell
I
him.
mean, yeah, I mean, because all schools do some of the, you know, as long as we're not like advocating one way or another and we're just putting the information out. I've never known that to be a problem before in the past.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
made it sound like just putting information out there was wrong.
I know, as I said, I was very overwhelmed and I just thought, oh Lord. But anyways, at least we have a resource to ask, and that's, so I'm gonna go with that. And he was very prompt with some things. So so wait a minute, why, I'm sorry. It looks like I've got 3 attendees, but then, oh, here they are. Sorry. Okay, they're popping in. Yay. Hello, sorry. I just, you guys got stuck in that holding pattern. But anyways, we were just bringing up the training and just wondering people's feedback on it. Tracy or Tim, do you guys have it?
I thought it was very good. You know, I mean, I think the whole takeaway really is they're very available to run things by. So I think that's the big takeaway. I didn't know there was that concern over sending out advertisements, because we send them out. We draft them for school districts to send out all the time, you know, advertisements to come to community forums.
Yeah.
And so now I got to tell people to be more careful to make sure they get them, you know, signed off. I think what they mean is they don't want you to do a lot around those advertisements. They want you just to sort of advertise, you know, who, what, where, when kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I think you can easily trigger the line if you start saying things like, you know, come hear the benefits of a new high school or something like that.
Exactly. But I think, as you say, you know, they gave us their resource. Jason did email me all the, I think there are 3 lawyers on deck or something that are available to us to fly things by. So I imagine we'll be using them a lot in the coming year.
What I thought was that we did a good job. You know, I went back and quickly looked at the Facebook page, and I thought everything that we did kind of met the criteria of what they said. And I mean, given the deep dives of information that you provide, it's almost like an incentive to not engage, in my opinion, to the common voter, because it's so much. I felt really, I felt like we had done a good job, even not having that information of keeping to that tenet of just providing information.
Yeah, it's a lot though. It's certainly a lot. So
Well, yeah, I think it also, though, I think it's timely to start to begin, you know, kind of lines of separation. And I think as this continues to evolve, Anna Mae, I think you mentioned it, and I've at least heard it rumored that there would be an action committee, or he called it a say yes to vote, but I think it's the same concept. Like,
yeah, I think what's been filed is a political act, a PAC, and not a ballot. They're 2 different things, and I didn't realize that. I'm learning a lot of new things these days, and that's one of them, that they're 2 distinct paths.
yeah. So, but I mean, I think as that gains established, that's not what we're doing. You know, it never was. I think the evolution of this was almost back in April, May, right? We had that town meeting with the Board of Selectmen, the school committee, and the building committee. And it just said, hey, we need to be a little bit more thoughtful as we communicate. amongst ourselves and amongst the group. I think we've done a good job. But then I think it's a great reminder that says, hey, there's limitations to what we can do. And Tim, I agree. Like, I think, I think it is worth revisiting the building committee. There is a certain degree of project management, communication, coordination. And part of that process is making sure people are informed and, able to make an informed vote. So we just, we have to, manage those lines, but I think it would be worthwhile to reestablish, what are the roles of the building committee versus the communications subcommittee.
Yeah, for sure.
Make sure the last thing we want to do is cross a line.
Exactly. So, well, I think moving forward, we're now going to be that much more mindful, I would say. And so let's see. So Lynn and Tim. So Tim Baker sent out some preliminary, at least to a few people. It wasn't broadcast out. The traffic questionnaire. Tim Baker, do you want to give some highlights? I think it was worth extending it even for the
Yeah, we got 21 additional participants by extending it over the weekend.
So then that brings it to like 105 or something?
Yep. Wow, good memory. Yeah.
That's
and I'd say about 99 of those 105 answered all the questions. So then you just had 6 people who just kind of sprinkled in and out of various questions.
So when you do a survey at the school, how many parents would usually send in? Do you know?
Well, it depends on the topic. I mean, re-entry, nearly 100%, because everybody's got their opinions and, but this is decent. This is a decent number.
I thought it was a great number. Wow.
Yeah, decent number.
You also said that how many emails do we have for the Wheelock email neighborhood?
For the actual emails, we don't have many.
But how many people came to the forum for the Wheelock neighborhood? Was it 84?
Something like 9. Was it 94?
Got to be 84.
Yeah. So when you think about it, it kind of aligns that of a group. I sort of, when I think of it, that makes sense. And it sounds to me, obviously we don't know who took them, and maybe there's some alignment of interest and overlap of the same people, that the right people are taking it.
Yeah, I would say so, because a lot of people did leave their contact information. So what I need to do now, I was hoping to do that before today, but it'll get done before our next email push, is quite a good chunk of people left their contact, their email address. Yes, they want to be included in the email database. So I think that's good. I didn't count specifically, but Tim, it looked like quite a few. So I'm hopeful with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. So now these, Tim and Lynn, do you want to tell us the process in terms of these are going to Brian, the traffic engineer, those are getting analyzed, and then are we still on target for, and maybe Tina too, still on target for the February 1st?
Well, I know that Tina sent it to Nitch. I'm not sure if Brian's back from paternity leave or not yet.
Yeah, I don't know if he's back yet either, but he does have 2 other engineers that's helping him. So they're working on it. We're actually meeting with them later this afternoon.
Oh, great. Okay, so perfect. All right, so everything's moving in the right direction, that we can hopefully still target that February 1st.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. And so for that February 1st meeting, I remember Mike Quinlan, he wanted to make sure that the chief of police is there, right? Did we say DPW or just, just if the invite has gone out to them, or do I reach out to them? Do one of you folks reach out to them? I just want to make sure, I'm sure it'll all get done, but if I need to do something, please let me know.
We can check in with Mike. I assume he was going to contact him again.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. And so really the theme of this forum, this February 1st forum, is the analysis of traffic and perhaps mitigation suggestions? What do you guys see as the format or the content of this forum?
I think it's going to be just presenting the results, and also the hope was that we would have some mitigation strategies from niche to discuss.
That is the idea, and we just have to keep in mind that these are not final solutions in any way. There are some ideas that that can potentially work, and some of the ideas have been discussed already, so it may sound like it might be a repeat, but this is, you know, the results of the questionnaire is also just to sort of reaffirm what niche was already thinking.
No, that's helpful, just to frame it and everything. Okay.
Is the idea on like the mitigation, say this is what we're thinking, and try to hear feedback that says, okay, anticipate the blockers, like this, yeah, that would work really well, or this wouldn't work because, and we say, oh, good, we didn't think about that. And we're just,
Yeah, I would go along with that. I'd be cautious about bringing too much of a mitigation strategy, given that this is really the publication of the summary of the results. Assuming that each one of these people has probably been engaged in filling out the questionnaire, this is the first time you show the collaboration of the information, and it might be that we could use that opportunity to solicit input from them following that combination of information. But, you know, getting into the mitigation strategy, particularly if it's the first time that the chief cadet will be participating, I would just keep that one pretty loose, and just make it a continuation of more input.
Yeah.
That's my feeling. I'm not sure if that's.
and
I think
sorry,
that's correct.
yeah, one clarifying question too, when you're saying sharing the information, is the information from the questionnaire or information from the traffic study?
Combo,
Both.
right?
Okay.
Well, the feasibility traffic study, it is public already. That's already public information. That's part of the PSR that was sent to MSBA and also made public. So that information is out there already. So I think, as Bob was saying, that the new information that we're sharing is the results from the questionnaire, and it's an ongoing discussion. There's no final solution from these results of the questionnaire, but it's helped to keep the conversation going, and also to understand the traffic a little bit more, the nuances. But I also would caution that a lot of these questions are around the neighborhood, so not very specific to the school directly. So some of these mitigation strategies that might be thrown around will likely be not part of the school project, but it may be an overall town project. And I think either the police chief or who's it, Maurice from the DPW had mentioned there are some ongoing programs that they're trying to look at bike paths and improving overall the towns in terms of pedestrian, bikers, cars, things like that. So it might make sense to even include him as part of this public forum so that he could talk a little bit more broadly about what the town is trying to do.
Yep.
Just one follow-up, and I forgive me if I should remember. When we had the traffic engineer join us for the first forum, at that point, was it the study was underway and he shared where he was, or was that it was complete and he shared the results?
There's sort of two phases to the traffic study. The first phase is really feasibility. So it's at a very high level and very focused on the school, the site, and the immediate adjacent roads. And that doesn't include traffic counting, which was so we decided that since Wheelock was, the neighborhood was much more sensitive to the traffic impacts, we basically extended that study that would have happened during schematic design earlier. So we moved it up a bit and did the traffic count, collected that data to understand in advance how the impacts were. So we did do more work than that was anticipated for the feasibility study.
Okay. So, and I don't, my just thought would be, I understand when you say it's public, some of the training that Jason shared, when he said, hey, here's this resource and you can see who's giving, that's public, but I had no idea it was there. You know, it might, I would think, hey, it would be worthwhile to say, look, we've published this in December. We're going to just walk you through at a high level. This is what we did. As a reminder, think about that neighborhood committee. Many of them, it's not what they're thinking about every day. So they may not have had really, you know, recap where we were. This is what we shared. We've finished this study, or, you know, this is where we are with the study. Here's the result, you know, high level, what we're hearing from in the questionnaire. And we absolutely are thinking about mitigation and these, you know, high level, these categories. But this is more about a discussion with you folks. What, you know, what's concerning, you know, what do you like? What did you hear? What's concerning? And that probably keeps the mitigation steps as like a conversational, because I don't know that we're formally prepared for it.
Okay. So February 1st, it's now, that's like 2 weeks more away. So we need to start advertising that or thinking about. And so I understand, you know.
Time, place, and date.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Tim. Exactly. But at least a title, you know, as well, in terms of, I liked what Bob was saying, you know, it's a summary of results, you know, this is, you know, and we're going to be here to, you know, open it up to the public and get input. And I'm sure they will dabble with some mitigation, but I think as Tina said, these aren't final solutions. So I'm just trying to think, how do we, you know, if we're in addition to time, date, and place, what are we saying this forum is? This is going to be the Wheelock neighborhood traffic
Traffic update.
Traffic update. Okay.
Extravaganza.
Not. But I like where you're going. Again. All right. So I know we need to just keep this simple and straightforward, but I just, you know, need to figure out our little.
So I mean, but then there's the second part, you know, time and place is pretty, you know, there's not a lot there, it's concrete, but then it's prepping for the content for it, which really is what you're saying, you know, what's the goal? Goal is to educate, is the focus, the study, the questionnaire, or the feedback? And my guess would be the goal is yes. That's really kind of what we're looking for.
Yes, and I figure now that, you know, content, we've got our input, but then the working group and Mike Quinlan, right, Lynn, will really kind of drive that along with our suggestions.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So content title, all right. But we're responsible for just getting this info out because, again, that's just a couple of weeks away. All right. Sorry, Tim Knight, what did you say? Just update. Is everybody fine with that? Just calling it Wheelock.
I have to gonna have to get off. Sorry for 12:30, but is the FAS? I think the meeting is the 20th.
Yes.
Assessment subcommittee, and that's when this whole model school thing gets brought up. I believe. So, is there a plan to, that's going to need, unless we're probably not going to be able to stay on schedule, but I mean, there's one selectman who needs to hear from the public about that. I'm not sure it's ready on that forum, but I mean, and Mike really probably should be the one that needs to decide how he wants to pursue that. But is that going to be one of these, is that another part of it, or is it so off topic from the traffic?
No. So Tim, we put out Gina and Lynn and Tim, they put kind of a little brief press release on the model school, what it is, the pros and cons. That went, and I'm glad you brought that up, that went into Hometown Weekly confirmed that they were putting it in this week or the next couple of weeks. And then it stated the timeline, the timelines that were coming up. But then, Mike Quinlan's thoughts were, are we going to cause more confusion if we don't have answers about this? So I'm throwing it back at you guys, especially those of you who have more experience, regarding.
I only bring it up because the decision around that needs to move quickly and in order to stay even reasonably on schedule. And so the way I think it happens next, and this is leading, I'm thinking it now, maybe we don't want to get involved in it, but I do think Mike needs to sort of be the one to make that decision. But I think the next thing is it actually goes in front of the building committee, and then they do a presentation, and Arrow Street does one if we decide to move forward. So, I think now that I'm talking it through, I think we're not going to be ready to have much information for that forum to talk about it. So,
but I think we're having, Lynn, correct me, that's the February 3rd meeting, right?
Yes, we're having a joint meeting with the SBC, the school committee, and the Board of Selectmen to discuss the outcome of the FAS meeting, and to discuss it openly at that point.
Yeah, okay, so maybe just sort of telling people that meeting's going to be happening is all we do at that forum then.
Great.
Yes.
I think that's a good point. So there's a lot going on so we're that same week, we've got the February 1st forum for the traffic update. And then we've got the FAS joint meeting. So Lynn and your crew, can you put like a little summary of what that meeting, in writing, what that's going to entail? Just a time, date, place, a little descriptor of what it is. Is that possible?
Yep.
Great.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, perfect. Yes, thank you. All right. So that's great. So we've got two things going on. All right.
All right, guys, I have to go to this 12:30, so I will
Thank
talk
you.
to you later. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Ciao.
Thanks, Tim.
And greetings all. I'll take Tim's place. I just arrived. Sorry to be running late.
Hi, Larry. Oh wait, there's no chat in here. Okay, sorry. Chris McCue Potts is raising her hand. I'm just gonna let her chat. Hi, Chris. Did you have something? Wait a minute. I think. Oh, there you go. Hi, Chris.
Hi. Whoops. Hi there. Sorry, I'm getting my car service, so I had my mask on. Just an observation on the community, the neighborhood forum with regard to the traffic issues.
Yeah.
I would like to know if the plan is to take questions from people that may not fall in your prescribed Wheelock neighborhood.
Okay.
Because there are a good number of people who live on Oak, Metacomet, South, Pound Street, Pleasant Street, Miller Street, who are very concerned about the traffic impacts. And at the last forum, folks who lived in those neighborhoods, their questions were not taken by Mike Quinlan. So I think that was really not fair to just ignore questions from anyone that lived out of the prescribed traffic impacts. And especially so when then Mike ended up showing a map of those exact neighborhoods showing the whether sidewalks existed or didn't exist. So, and that map had a title on it that said Wheelock neighborhood, yet he would not take questions from anyone that was outside of, say, Elm, Knollwood, Cross, you know, his own prescribed or the prescribed Wheelock described neighborhood. So I think it would be good to understand whether or not anyone who has questions about traffic impacts is going to be heard at that forum.
Well, I will definitely pass that on to him. I can't answer for him, but I'll definitely pass on the sentiment and the concern for sure.
We did allow people outside of those streets that he had originally identified to participate in the survey by adding the street that they lived on.
Correct. Yeah, but there were a number of people who were on the last forum who had questions that didn't get that they weren't even acknowledged.
Okay. All right. We will definitely pass that on. Cool. Thank you. Chris. Thanks.
And I told you earlier, I have to jump too. I'm getting pinged. I don't know if someone can replace me. Larry's twin brother. So see you. I'll look forward to the notes.
Okay, wonderful. All right. Thank you very much, Tim. Ciao. All righty. So we'll advertise in all our outlets for the one forum and the one joint meeting. And Lynn, you guys will come up with the wording, or Tim, you're going to come up with the wording of what that meeting entails. So I can submit that to the papers, the patch and all that good stuff.
Sure. When are you looking to do that by?
Well, we have to do it by Sunday if we want to get it
Sunday?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Or just, yeah, by Sunday, because I have to submit it by Sunday, 10 o'clock. So, but then Mike has to approve it. So if you could get it done
before then. Yeah, no, yeah.
Everybody's hands have to get in it. So pretty cool. You know the deal.
Mm-hmm.
All right, lovely. Thank you very much. All right, that's cool. Just next on the agenda, I did.
One quick thing, on the emails that we got from those 80 surveys from the Wheelock traffic, are they going to get a special email inviting them to this meeting?
Yes, everybody's going to get the email. So in addition to the people who signed or who took.
So you or Tim are going to take those emails to Tom?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just so sorry.
Yes.
Someone has to, I'm happy to do it if you want to give me the information. I can, I'm happy to help just so that they get there. So whatever need, I'm happy to just.
Yes, because so what we're doing with those, when Tom Erb is sending out those emails, we're using both lists all the time.
Because right, he has it divided, but still they're now on paper that he doesn't have them yet, does he?
No, so I'm entering them in.
You're entering it for him. Okay, all right.
I'm doing the entering.
Okay, all right, okay.
Thank you. Gmail process, I did have a quick chat with Mike Quinlan, and I just have to express he's just very grateful for this group and all the work, the team effort we're doing. So I want to express his gratitude. So thank you, folks. So the Gmail email process, we just quickly talked about that. So he's saying that he's, he can't manage that and answer all the questions. So Lynn, I think, you would answer them if it was in the realm of the FAQs like we've talked about. And then if I could be copied on them, and then anything out of the box would go to Mike. Does that, and then I'll manage like the themes and see if things are coming up. Does that make sense? Is that okay, Lynn?
Yes, I thought we were going to track the emails that came in, name, email, what the question was and what the response was, just track it so that we can give a report at these meetings.
Yeah, no, that's fine, as long as, but the initial response would.
Yes, well, the initial response is if, that we'll get back to them if we have to ask somebody. And if it's a question that's already been asked, we'll just respond.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, perfect. So is that auto response already on the Gmail thing? Or can that be done?
No, but it's hard to do an auto response because then you lose track of who is, like, if you put an auto response in there, well, I have to see how it will work, because once you respond to the email, sometimes it stacks and you lose track of it, so I have to figure out how that, I think we're just going to have to manually respond every time, so that at that point we write the question down and we remember, we have a tracked list of it. So
Okay.
we can respond back to them.
Okay. So you or someone from your team will do that?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Great. Thank you. And, okay. Beautiful. So the model school info, I know we briefly talked about that. And I wish Tim could stay on, Tim Bonfatti, because I think it was an interesting thing that Mike Quinlan said, that perhaps we're causing more confusion, but I suppose maybe let's just invite them to that February 3rd meeting, and we can kind of assess, the response from the MSBA, and then kind of take it from there in terms of next steps. What do you think, Lynn, Larry, Dina, anybody? This is my first rodeo, so you guys let us know.
Yeah, it's
Information and not causing more confusion.
I think that Mike thinks that it may, well, I don't think it causes more confusion. I think it explains it. And I think Mike wants to see what happens at the FAS first, because supposedly they could come back and say there are no schools that will match.
Okay.
At that point, it goes away, because they don't have a school to provide to us. And I think maybe he's wanting to wait to see what the outcome of that is, versus putting it out there and then say, oh, by the way, never mind, because there are no schools.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I didn't even know that was an option. That just almost makes me regret that we sent that into the paper. You know what I mean? It's like, seems like a little bit of a mixed, message, but anyway.
Well,
I
I think this is reflective of the complexity of this dynamic process.
Yes, okay.
And
complex. I like
there's
that.
there's a lot out there, and I think that, in my opinion, is that this is an information communication forum, and I would stay within the lines, first, frankly, on what the objective of each of these
Okay.
sessions are. This is just my opinion, but when Mike conducts his meetings, they're open meetings.
Mhm.
And so my feeling is that we should be conveying information that's been addressed in the meeting, and not, kind of getting ahead of things. And I think there is a real danger of getting ahead of things. I think that, in fairness to the earlier comment, putting some discipline around that at the meeting is one requirement. And then as we follow up, in this town survey of the traffic, then, we address the things that come up in the questionnaire and in the public forum. No one's been excluded. Answers may not be satisfactory to some, but I don't think anyone's been excluded. And I think that if we stay within that discipline, so I would be, if this is going to be about the traffic survey and about the, the response that we got from this, and to get other input on traffic, my opinion is we should stick to that. And no, not say things don't exist, but say, okay, in this forum, this is what we're addressing. And there'll be future forums when information is available, and, keep that under the control of Mike and the committee. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I did find that little press release very helpful. It was very factual. This is what, because even at the last meeting, Trace, what is a model school? Because I've heard it, but then, so I thought it was just a helpful way to frame it. And then they put together the pros and cons list. So it was really taking no sides. This is what's on the plate. We're going to have meetings. And so I think that was good to just kind of plant the seed to at least explain the definition, so to speak.
Okay, all right. I guess for me, it is a lot of information. I consider myself to be like the phantom composite of all parents, young and old. So just right in the middle, maybe a nice 39-year-old mom. So it is a lot. So I'd be interested to hear what Chris thinks if she's still on the call, just as someone who tracks a lot of the information. Is she on the call still?
She is.
Like, is it confusing? Did she feel that it hit the mark where it needed to? I don't know, Chris, if you don't mind answering.
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me? I'm not sure what's the question.
You know how we're talking about the model school, and as I was saying, I'm like the composite parent who is getting some of the information, but not all the time, so it's kind of overwhelming. Did you think putting it in the paper and, especially since there might not be a school that is a match, that's new information that I heard today, like that still made sense?
I mean, I don't know. I think the thing that I find confusing about the model school is that there are some beautiful ones out there, but I think Jeff mentioned this at the school committee meeting, that they are the high schools. Like, I think Norwood did a beautiful job. So I think it might be a little confusing for people who may be familiar with some of these really beautiful model schools to think, oh, wow, this could be, we could get this, a similar type of, architecture or plan. But it sounds like from what Tim Bonfatti said that MSBA isn't really doing that anymore, that there's no longer any kind of flexibility with the model school. So I do think it's a little confusing, and I think it may, until there's a little bit more of a firmer path going forward, that it may muddy the waters a little bit right now.
Does it make sense to modify, if it's going to run in the paper a couple of times, to put in a line that there might not be a school that's a match? Because the way the article, I guess this is where I'm getting stuck, the information we put together, as I remember, was written, and maybe this is splitting hairs, and just give me a thumbs down. You don't even have to tell me to stop talking. It seemed like we were going to get some options. That was my interpretation. And there'd be some reasons we'd look at them, and there'd be some reasons we wouldn't look at them. But there would be an option. So the news that there might not even be a match would seem to me something that we should have included. I guess that's where I'm at.
There was definitely a bullet on there.
Okay. All right. Maybe I'm not remembering.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that they are going to give us some options. In the end, they may.
All right. So that's like it's possible but not probable scenario. Sorry, I'm taking it.
That's how I would characterize it.
All right.
In the end, they may give us some options to look at that once we give them more criteria, they may say, well, these don't fit. But at the FAS meeting, they will, I mean, probably, I would say almost 100% that we're going to get something to look at.
Okay. All right. So that's better. I'm sorry. I brought us down a path that was probably unnecessary. It's just that when I heard that I was like, why did we just spend all that time on it if we're not even going to get a match? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. But I think moral of the story, we got to drive people to the February 1st traffic forum update and the February 3rd joint meeting, so people can hear firsthand.
Well, I think the match is just that there is no model school that has a grade configuration that's 4 to 5. They do have a school, I think it's just one that's 3 to 5. So you can, and Larry can correct me from what Autumn said the other day, but basically it just comes down to how much customization do you have to do from that model school to meet Medfield's needs. And at that point, are you actually saving anything by doing the model school program if you have to do so much customization anyway? I think is what
I got that part. And but that's helpful that you even mentioned the uniqueness of how our district is, and why there wouldn't be a match, that there's not many people who just have a 2-grade school. So districts that have a 2-grade school. So that's good. All right. Sorry about that. It's just, it seemed like, wait a minute, you didn't mention that last week, that there might be no match. Okay.
Yeah, so let's see. So we're gonna so I'll work with you, Tim, for the announcements for the press releases for the the one forum, the one Feb 3rd meeting. So we'll
February
work
3rd or the February 1st?
the both.
Okay.
Pretty please, yeah. And then
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Just trying to keep track of this. And I wanted to bring up, so we had the winter topic that we wanted to start with, and hopefully I'm going to be able to share my screen here. And that is, here we go. Lynn's team has been producing these, sorry, where am I going here? Today's meeting, inbox. Oh, shoot, no. Here we go, sorry. So, these project updates, and we're also talking about, the drip campaign and starting that initiative. My question here is, they're producing this, and Lynn, where do these, does this just go to the SBC and sometimes on Facebook?
I think in the definitely goes as part of the monthly report to the SBC, but we have been providing that for posting on the website as well. We haven't been sending them out.
Right. So I'm wondering, who's the target, when you guys put this together, who's the target audience? Is it the SBC members? Or?
Well, it's actually the public, because if you open one of them, you'll see it's like upcoming dates for them to be aware of, what's happening or what's going to happen in the months to come.
Go to this. Yeah. Okay, very good.
I think that was the most recent one. And it's got all the upcoming project milestone dates.
Okay.
Got the links and what can be expected coming up.
Okay, so it looks to me that this is an untapped resource that you guys are producing, that we're really, as a communication subcommittee, perhaps not using enough, or
well, I am wondering if what I saw and as an example had a lot of the upcoming dates and a lot of the information that you were talking about putting out, we can easily do in this, and it's has a little bit of graphics to it as well. So
yeah, what do you guys think? If this is the a format we can use?
Yeah, I love it. I think we should use what's there. And we also just learned in the meeting on Tuesday that PR firm that I've been pushing that we could use is done. That was a bad idea. That was wasted effort trying to push it. Sorry, NMA. And so I think we should. I think you should send them to us to look at, to read what's in it, because I like it. I just think that it needs to be edited down. And that is just the challenge of making the campaign more accessible to folks. Is we've been pushing out a lot of information and it's there for people who need all these details. But when it's that dense, we're missing the majority of the people engaging them, because even I have a hard time getting through that material, and I'm on the committee and I feel it's my responsibility to read it, so I do. But if I was really that composite 39-year-old mom that I want to go back to, I would never engage in it. I can be pretty honest. So I think that we want to try to take that information, but make it briefer, and then we have the other stuff behind it if people need it. That's just my take. But happy to do what other folks want to do. I'd be interested to hear what Nicole thinks about it as.
That 39-year-old mother.
Yeah, exactly. Not that I'm envious, not that I'm envious. All ages have their benefits.
Exactly. Nicole, are you still there by any chance?
I am.
Oh, goody. Hi. I don't know if you can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
What do you think as a, you know, a parent who's got a million things to do and read and see? I mean, this is an example of the monthly updates about the project. I think Tracy's saying maybe the content's great, but maybe simplifying it and maybe dilute.
Well, this, now that I can see this closer up, it's actually more condensed than I thought it was. So sorry, Lynn. But I could only see all the different pages, so I thought it came in a little bit larger. So I think if we could just look at them.
I would, yeah, or just make it a one pager with a great picture like this.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
that's,
so that way people are, at least they have a vision, even if they are not taking the time to read it. Because I think the biggest thing is that we truly want to get the information out. If we have the information and we're going to eventually ask the town to support us, or, you know, we want to get all of this stuff out to them now so that no one feels like they were taken by surprise.
And I do think it meets like both groups of people, because the people who just want like the broad overview will just look at the milestones on the right-hand side of it. And if the people actually want to read the update, they can, but so I think it goes to both audiences.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I agree. Now that I'm seeing it close up, I like it. I mean, obviously the information needs to be updated, but a good photo every time.
Yeah.
Is important, and it doesn't always have to be text. Some of it could be bullet points too, as we need it to go. So that's good.
Okay. Hey, Bob, what do you think?
I just wanted someone just say updated, because I see that the Wheelock Neighborhood Forum is on for February 2nd. So at a minimum, it might be a good document to clarify that. But I think it's, you know, I don't think you can over communicate. So I think, you know, one supplements the other, but by the same token, maybe, you know, perhaps a one pager with a reference to this page, or as this page, with the reference to the detailed information that comes from behind it.
There's links to the project website as well as the.
Yeah, I see that. That's exactly right. So as I said, I don't want to duplicate it. I think, you know, if it's a piece of clarity, yes. And again, I just keep on going back to, I guess, getting on my own soapbox here, that, you know, stay on the track of moving down through these milestones and the communication that this committee is you know, presenting as we move through the dynamics of the process.
Yeah, and we've done different formats as well. If Anna Mae, if you can open the March one, where we just had, there were questions that we provided answers to.
And who gets these now?
They're in the monthly reports,
Oh, all right. Okay. Cute.
which are on the project website.
Which, yeah. So
We can take them out and highlight them and post them to Facebook as well.
Oh, this was the March.
I think even having just the latest one up there with a note, you know, saying that prior ones are, you know, click here to see prior months.
Yeah, I like this one a lot, you know.
Yeah.
This,
I'm sorry, everybody, but I have a 1 o'clock meeting that I'm hosting, so I have to leave. But
yeah, no, that's fine. I
Tim,
think
Tim can update me on whatever you want to do. But I mean, we've formatted them in different ways, like some answering questions, some just providing information. But you know, just think about it and let us know what you want to do.
Okay, perfect. Super. Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you. Bye.
So, Anna Mae, what I think would be good is if you could get one of these with Tom and see what it looks like on that email.
Yeah. Yeah.
when you make an attachment? Is it an easy fit, or is it something that he'll need to get the different components in read?
I think this would be hard to put in his email, frankly.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I would confirm with him, but just when I see his emails and the way he formats them, and typically when I send him a document, he doesn't actually want this document. He wants the individual sections of it.
That's what I'm thinking, yes, because it's not, so I guess I like how it looks. I just don't know how it fits into the medium of Facebook and the email format, which is where we're sending out our stuff. And since we can't, this looks perfect to send out in the school bulletins, but now we know that we're not doing that anymore. So I think just to kind of see, but maybe the pieces and Tom can work with it. I don't know. So do you see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Maybe I'm just I feel like Debbie Downer because these are so perfect. I'm just.
Yeah, how they're transferable on different mediums.
But
Yeah.
how do we execute it within the mediums that we have available, which is Facebook and the email, really?
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So it sounds like this is a good template, but how does it transfer to the other outlets? And
I mean, I could send this to Tom and just ask him how easy is it to take this put into your email chimp or whatever it's called.
yeah. But and to kind of replicate the look more or less, you know?
Can you replicate the look, or kind of
Yeah.
what would it look like in the email format?
Or
Yeah.
maybe it's a link, you know what I mean? You check our monthly update, click here. That makes sense in Facebook, and then it pops up, you know?
Mhm.
So it's not quite as, so it's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So I maybe I would love to end on time, but maybe what we can do is I'm trying to be conscious of people's time. What I would love to do is maybe I know this is out, but it needs some tweaking and it needs, the dates to be fixed, but maybe we can take a look at this and kind of, because I think at the initial traffic forum, there's this brilliant drone photo
Yes.
of the school on the back field. Like, to me, just looking at this, I'm thinking, oh crap, it's on top of the soccer fields, but it's not. I can see that the soccer fields are really over to the far right.
I didn't want to say that, but that was my point too. When I saw this, I was like, wow, that looks,
Yeah,
I don't know, it looks dicey. So.
And I know we have an awesome drone photo, really kind of hovering on top, and it shows that ideally we would not be, cutting down 1 billion trees and deforesting, whatever. It was an optimal photo. That this is a confusing photo to me. So just, some things like that. So maybe we can kind of tweak this and push this out.
I agree. And I think if we're going to do this on Facebook, I know what picture you're talking about, Anime, and I too agree. I really like that one because I feel like it's the most realistic and you can really envision.
Yeah.
Is it just the flip, like the taking it from the 180 view? Is that the one you're talking about?
Maybe there was this photo in the deck where it was kind of like hovering above the school. So the school was clear, the field behind it was clear, and it just,
showed like the parking lot for the new fields.
Yeah, that was one of the drone shots. This is
Oh,
from
yeah.
the other
The
side.
video. It
Yeah.
took you the video. That's what
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
we could find that one because I appreciate what you're saying is people don't realize that the majority of soccer fields actually are preserved.
Yeah, but to me, it looks like they're smack dab on top of it. I'm thinking, oh no. So anyway, but I think we can use this, and I think we've got enough on our plate right now in terms, but this could be worked on and updated. So maybe Tim will get out those things for the forum and the February 3rd meeting, but then if we can use these formats going forward, but I'd still love to push out a January one, and maybe that can go in conjunction with the reminders of what's coming up in February.
Okay.
Is that cool? All right. Super duper. Sorry, I didn't have it in me to do all 4 minutes, but I did 2. I don't know if people read them. Should we table them to the next time? Or can we vote?
I say just approve them really quick. Let's do it.
Okay, so November, oh, but you know, what? We don't have quorum. Me, you, Nicole, Bob. Okay, great. It's just that we do actually. So November 12th, 2020 minutes and November 19th, 2020 minutes. Do we have a motion to approve those two dates?
I'll approve them. Nicole?
Thank you, Nicole. Do we have a second?
Second,
Second, Bob. All right. Roll call, Tracy Rogers,
Aye.
Nicole Drummond,
Yes.
Bob Sliney,
yes.
Anna Mae O'Shea Brooke, yes. All right, super. Thank you. And I'll get the other ones done. All
You
right,
all.
folks. Thank you very much.
You all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao, ciao. Bye, guys.
Bye.
You guys.
Have a great day.
Likewise. Ay, ay, ay. How do I get out? Hmm.